And I know it's difficult to say that about an 18-year-old, but remember, he's the second such player to come along. Jahangir himself, when he went out and lost in the British Open final to Jeff Hunt in 1981, well, he showed similar form to these young men, but that's the first error that we've seen, and there aren't going to be too many of them, I can tell you. 1 point. How the two players move around each other. They rotate about each other on that tee. That's those youngsters watching who are playing this game for the first time. Well, that's the sort of position you need to achieve.
Yes, lad. Yes, lad. 1 lad.
It's interesting, Stuart, when you look at the two players. It's not easy to differentiate between the two names. Both of them are Jay Khan. In actual fact, Jahangir is much the more solid of the two players physically, and he's contrasted very starkly by Jansher Khan, who is painfully thin, as was his brother Mohibullah Khan before him. Mohibullah, who in fact achieved a world ranking of 2 in the world, and it's indicative of the fact that the pedigree is in the family, and the styles of play will probably display themselves according to the shape of body.
Interesting that Ramat Khan, who coaches Jahangir Khan, wasn't present when he had his 2 defeats, and of course he is present here. And Jansher Khan is coached by Mohammed Yassin, who of course a former British Open finalist, and so there's a wealth of experience behind these two fellas and available to them. And Yassin absolutely certain that the young man that he brought into this international circuit is going to be the next great player, but he does is quite clear that it's going to be no easy task to beat Jahangir Khan 3 times on the trot, and he's already being made to move about this court quite significantly, and he knows that he's got to contain the initial surge of Jahangir Khan.
I refer to the body types. That's a crashing drive by Jahangir Khan, and he's got that extra little bit of power that perhaps Jansher Khan hasn't got. And in this opening period, I think you can look to see Jahangir Khan will be thrashing these drives hard and ferociously to try and really force Jansher onto the defensive.
But he will be aware that in their last confrontation he was 2 games to love up and well up in the 3rd game and still lost to Jansher. So it's really a matter of Jahangir Khan controlling and maintaining concentration throughout this match. He can't give anything away to this young man. And I have to say that this, of course, is a semi-final stage, and many would contest that this is perhaps the best matchup for a final in a World Championship. So whoever goes through from this semi-final stands more than a good chance of taking the world honours at the end of this tournament. Just sense that Jansher has such a beautiful feel for this ball, and as you were saying, he's not quite got the power of Jahangir. Let's not, I'm not comparing him with mere mortals, I am comparing him with Jahangir Khan.
Yes, lad. Yes, lad.
Let the end of that little confrontation. Jansher knows Jahangir is played very well. He'll have been taught by Mohammed Yassin all about Jahangir Khan, and he's played him enough times now recently to know a good deal more about him, and he will have set up his tactics for this match accordingly, but that sort of shot from the master, very difficult to retrieve.
And lovely width on that, Stuart, too. I think the thing to notice for the club player here is that both players are hitting cross-court, but it's so wide and driven at the side wall. There's no chance of cutting it off from a position in the middle of the court.
Oh, and Jahangir found the nick again there, and he really is looking very, very comfortable indeed at the moment. 4-love and service. First game of the semi-final. Oh, and that was an error.
5-love. Yes,
let requested and given, not verbally, just that little look from Jahangir, enough to get the right response. But 5-love.
Stroke to Jahangir, coach. Jahangir, 6-love.
And that's two particularly lackadaisical drop shots that Jansher Khan's played.